everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we are in Assetto Corsa for what was really one of the first PS4 races. Obviously it's been out on PC for a while, PS4 and Xbox only got it recently, but we didn't actually have private lobbies to start with, so yeah, we've had to wait for them. Now they're here. We had an hour endurance race starting at 6 in the evening, and the time progression was I think about 6, so it finished at 2 AM in the morning. So yeah, it was this sort of an evening to night race, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, it was the first time I've probably played ACC since it come out. I didn't play it for ages purely because it just wasn't stable enough, and well, there wasn't really much to do on it. So yeah, it was interesting to get back into the game really after a while, see where the pace was. I wasn't expecting to win. I was taking probably a top 10 from the start. We're going to go into qualifying first as always, and this was my fastest lap. So here we go then, Laguna Seca. Qualifying was at midday, so the track temperature was quite high, quite a lot of grip. Low fuel, I think we were doing 2 flying laps, then boxing again for fuel. Mostly the tyres could do it. But yeah, you see at the moment with P6, our teammate, I'm pretty sure that is P8. He didn't really say a great lap. To be honest, qualifying wasn't the best. We could have done a better qualifying, but I think it's ultimately the track. I'm not really the best at this track. I don't really like this track. Obviously, yeah, it's just one of them. I was expecting something like Silverstone or something like that for the first one, but unfortunately we didn't have that. But yeah, it's a 19 car grid at the moment. Currently P6. So I was taking that really after like what 12 laps of practice I think I'd done overall, and that wasn't all in one go. It was like 2 lap stints. But yeah, here we go, coming up to the corkscrew. This is by far the scariest bit on the track. It's completely blind. You can't see nothing here. You've just got to sort of guess, and that wasn't really the best. We could have definitely done better. The car was a bit loose and didn't really hug that apex. So yeah, there was definitely more time. I think I said after the race there's probably about 8 tenths more I could find, which was pretty frustrating. But we're going to come around the final corner now. Currently sitting in P7, so we did go faster than us. Trying to get a good exit. And we come up to the line, and we go P5, which was a decent result. I'd take that, you know, top quarter of the grid. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that overall. So yeah, now we move on to the start of the race. We had a bit of a formation. Obviously, ACC is a GT Challenge game, so you have the rolling starts, no standing starts. I don't think you can have a standing start anyway, but yeah, we were on the left-hand side. Teammate in 8th behind us. We were the only, well, one of 2 of the lowest ranked in the lobby. As you can see, the red 22. So yeah, I was pretty happy with where we were. Those ranks really don't define anything, but it's a nice thing to have really. 37 mph to the green. We're just going to try and have a clean turn 1 as we roll up to the line now, trying to get as close to that 37 without speeding. I think it's a 30 second stop go, but we've gone green. We get a decent start, managed to actually block out our teammate who goes in a bit of a battle with the McLaren behind. A lot of the Porsches up ahead, 3 Porsches up ahead. We're just going to try and sneak it up the inside of Kaga, but it doesn't quite work, and then we get a bit loose over the curb here. That allows him to get away. Teammates still behind. Porsches up ahead going side by side. And yeah, it was a pretty clean start all in all so far. I was just trying to put the pressure on this Porsche ahead. I knew that I could have probably passed him. Tyres still being cold as well, obviously, which you can see. Brakes were up to temperature at this point, which was at least a good thing. But you see now that Porsche tries to late brake and just punts him off. And yeah, that was pretty obvious that was his fault, so he did have to wait as well. So we gained 2 places off that. That put us up to P5. We had a bit of a gap now, obviously, where those 2 Porsches would have filled it originally. So we had, yeah, a bit of clean air to run in 1.3 seconds up ahead as we come up to the corkscrew for the first time. I think it was definitely better not having a car ahead when we got up here, purely because, you know, we weren't right up the arse of someone first time we went down in race trim, and that would have definitely turned me off a bit. But you can see that sun, at the moment it being 6:36, that's definitely going to come down in this last sector. It's really hard to see when that sun comes down. Yeah, that's obviously going to be, I think about halfway through the race, at the 30-minute mark, it is complete darkness. So yeah, I think sunset was roughly around 8 o'clock. So we've got about an hour and 20. Obviously that isn't going to be an hour and 20, but yeah, in-game time, that's an hour and 20. Probably about 10 more minutes roughly until that sun really does become difficult. You can't see the curves or anything in that last sector, but you can see just up ahead the two leads. I have no idea what happens to that Bentley, but from where I was, it looked like DC. He just got absolutely thrown off the road. That or he hit the curb. But yeah, that was pretty unlucky for him. He was by far the quickest. I was in a pre-race with him as well, not knowing that he was in this, and he was he was rather quick. But we move on again, and this was what I was saying about the sun. I purely couldn't see that sausage, just jumped over it, and that put us just a bit wide. It allowed our teammate through there, which I was considering doing anyway, purely because he had more pace on his foot, he has more pace on his game alone. So yeah, he manages now to get through. He can now attack that top three. As you can see, they started to run away a little bit, but yeah, we've still got quite a lot of lap traffic to get through, so I was hoping that with that we'd definitely be able to gain some more places. You can see now that's again setting even more. This is 9 o'clock in game time, so I was a bit wrong, but now that last sector is a lot easier because the sun is actually behind something, as the Audi gets out of the way in a pretty strange way. But yeah, that sun's now behind the billboard, so it's easy to see the curves, as you can see through here. That was just completely blind before when I hopped it. So yeah, I was definitely a lot better in that. I could see where I was going. Yeah, we move on a little bit more now, and this is slap bang in the middle of the race. We're going to go in for our pit stop. As you can see, just behind is that Bentley that got knocked off a few minutes ago. Well, about 30 minutes ago in the race, really. I think that too. Yeah, he got stuck behind us for quite a while. Never really made a move, but we come in for our one and only pit stop. It was a mandatory stop, and this was a shambles. I tried to stop on point, didn't work. The car turned off. I'm trying to get it turned back on to just back up that tiny little bit, and it would not turn on for ages. So I drop it back a little bit, and then it wouldn't go off again. So I had to stall the car essentially to get it to turn off. As you see, I've done there, but I lost roughly 20 seconds in that, and there was cars around 12 seconds behind. It's a 30-second pit stop as well, but that's the same for everyone. Bar if you have damage, obviously that's then going to be longer. But you see our teammate up ahead, he's been stopped for a while now. You know, he's going to get out. He had, I think it was a 5 roughly second lead. I'm pretty sure that's not right up ahead. But yeah, now he's just driving away. I've still got at least 10 seconds in the pits alone. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I lost about 20 seconds through this. So it put me behind 2 or 3 cars, and then obviously I've got more lap traffic to get through. So yeah, we're going to come out just behind this Ferrari, near enough merge with the Ferrari, but you don't get contact in pit lane anyway. But yeah, I was pretty frustrated at this point, lost a lot of time to my teammate. I was hoping I could stick with him, really. That was one of my aims in the race, and now we've sort of lost that. Coming out the pit lane now, just seeing where we can come out. Lots of cars going past. That one there that has just gone past, he is the leader, but he hasn't took his mandatory stop, and it's a long pit stop on top of the time that I didn't lose anyway, and on top of the time that he was ahead. That wasn't really a shock, if I'm honest. I was expecting to be quite a bit ahead. He's still got to take that mandatory, so you know, I'm probably going to gain at least half of that, 3/4 of a lap on top of that. So yeah, I was just going to stick with him at this point, really, just see if I could hold behind him. P2 as well, which is that Bentley that we've seen before. Yeah, he was just behind. As you can see now, on that little hood in the bottom, the Porsche did hit, the Bentley kept on going. So yeah, at this point I was pretty confident that I was going to be, you know, passing these guys ahead. Again, we've got Kagger up ahead. I just give him the flash of the lights just so he knows that I'm there. He was pretty quick on top of the McLaren ahead of him. The McLaren sat by him for quite a while at the start of the race, but just never really got above, I'd say, 7 attempts to make a move. You've got to be quite close to these cars to actually make that move originally. But yeah, I was just going to wait for these boys to battle, and I went a bit wide there. I don't really know why. Track temperature got very low, obviously where it's become night time. But yeah, these boys now start to battle. Scott in the Ferrari getting lapped. The lapped cars weren't really the best. They were kind of confusing to get past. This blue flag rules just like in F1, so as soon as you get to show the blues you need to get out of the way, but some people just weren't moving essentially, which was pretty annoying. But yeah, not really much you can do at the same time. But yeah, Porsche and the McLaren just pulled away a little bit from that. they obviously got held as well, but I was just trying to make sure that I could stick with them in order to, when there is, you know, an overtake going on, as we get past the Porsche somewhere. I'm not too sure where. I think he made a mistake, but yeah. So now we just have that McLaren up ahead. The Porsche gets really close to the corkscrew. I'm not sure whether he was trying it or what. He just had more speed. I was definitely slow through the corkscrew, but if it's try and make a move there. But the McLaren up ahead, and then ahead of him is our teammate. But yeah, he was gone at this point. There was nowhere else going to get past him. We get a bit of oversteer there. He clips our rear end, goes down the inside, and I was expecting him to take a much tighter line. Just tap again. I get a bit of damage from that, and I wasn't happy with that at the time. Looking back, not really much more we could have done. Yeah, when you come from F1 to playing this, it's very different to how you battle. The cars are a lot heavier. It's just a lot more understeer compared to an F1 car. As we now come up to McLaren, who we're lapping. Yeah, he manages to get out of the way pretty easy. I was quite concerned at one point. He was quite close to me, but we get past. And behind us now is that Bentley that was originally leading. Now he's a lap down. For some reason, I think he had a drive-through penalty. So now he's behind us. He can't do anything either, because as soon as he gets past, it will blue flag him. But yeah, now we've come to 5 minutes in the race. Yellow flags up ahead. There's a lap car here. Not really sure what he was doing. A Kaga in front of us. I still don't know how we managed to avoid that. It was so close. There was a point in that where I was fully just accepting the fact that I was going to get hit. Yeah, no idea how we managed to avoid that, but that did give us a place essentially. As we now go on to the final few corners, Kaga managed to catch up, but only really made this little attempt. And yeah, we managed to just clear that, getting out of the way. As we come through to the final corners, our teammate finished second, we finished fourth in the end. Yeah, it could have definitely been more without the issues we had, but like I said, this was purely just a test race to see, you know, what we could sort of do in ACC, how the races run, and yeah, I definitely think that helps. We get an SA increase as well. I'm pretty sure to move up to the next ranking is 60, or it might be 70, I'm not too sure, but either way, we're getting closer. Fireworks going up as well, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, again, click that red button. Not sure what it does still, but yeah, apparently it helps. And yeah, it was fun. So we're definitely going to do some more ACC stuff. I think tomorrow we're going to have Jacker car highlights. Hopefully, if I can actually do them and not break everything again on F1. But yeah, until then, thank you for watching and goodbye.